Alright, what's going on, everyone? Sorry I haven't made a video in a while, been busy with law school and stuff. Let's just get right into the new season tier list. We're about halfway through the season. I think that's a good time to start putting things into order here, figuring out what ops are the best at the moment. I know it's been a while. I think it's been almost a year since I made the last tier list. So let's just get right into it. I know Brava's not on this list here, but I would probably pick her. Oh, maybe I should explain what this weird new tier list kind of looking thing is. If you watched my last video, or maybe it was the one before that, I like to put them into tiers of how much I think you can play the operator and realistically win rounds with them. So for instance, I'm going to put Sledge. You can probably play Sledge 100% of the time every single round and probably get the same amount of utility off of him. I'm trying to think, like, I can't really think of any site or map where you wouldn't benefit from getting Sledge. Maybe not fully as much as everywhere else, but there's very rarely anywhere where I would say Sledge isn't good. Like, I don't think there's any site, any map where you can't pick Sledge and play well with. Oh, coming down with a cough, I apologize. So that's a great first example. And so obviously operators, there are very few operators that I think you can play 100% of the time, and likewise there are very few that I think you can play 0% of the time. Thatcher, I'm going to put into the 85%. You can probably get away with playing him 85% of the time. He's not nearly as good as he used to be ever since the EMP gadget came out. Smoke. Now, Smoke is interesting, because I think you can play Smoke every single site on every single map and get a lot out of him. Same with Mute. I think you can play Mute every single site on every single map. These two, I think, are probably the best defenders in the game, right up there with Azami, which we'll get up to later. But I really think you can play both of these guys anywhere and get the same amount of utility and success from site to site. Obviously, they're better some places than others, but they're never bad anywhere, I don't think. Mute, you've always got a wall to deny, you've always got areas to deny drones. A C4 is always useful. You always need to rework the site with a shotgun, so I just don't think you can go wrong with either of these two people. You always need a deployable shield. You could always use nades. You know, these are kind of the things you can always play above vertically, or, you know, there's always stuff to get with sledgehammers, always soft breaching to do. Thermite. Now, Thermite's interesting. Where would I put Thermite? I'm going to put Thermite here. I think probably around, 45-50% of the rounds you need a hard breacher. No, actually, you know what? I think Thermite, no. Yeah, I'm going to put Thermite here. Thermite's the best for getting larger walls, like the garage wall. Any garage wall or outer wall you pretty much want to have Thermite get, because it opens up the breach the most, so you don't have to crouch through it or vault through it. Smoke grenades are great, his gun's decent, but in terms of his utility, you're not always getting the most out of him. Say, like, if you're attacking Oregon basement, you're not getting the most utility out of Thermite as you would if you would, say, get Hibana. I'm also going to put in here because Hibana's only really good for hatches at this point. If you're trying to get a regular wall, you wouldn't really pick Hibana. And actually, I think Hibana's worse than Thermite. You only really want to be playing Hibana if you're going for hatches, like bank basement. If you're attacking that, there's a million hatches to get. That's perfect. Oregon basement, there's 2 hatches that are great to get, and you can get the mirror off of the wall watching barrels. Maps like even maps like Clubhouse, if you're attacking Armory, million hatches there. So that's really the only time you want to be playing Hibana. Thermite, really the only time you want to be playing him is if you're getting larger walls. Maverick, I think, is really bad right now. I don't think Maverick I think he's really bad. I think this is the worst Maverick's ever been. I can only really think of like one time. I mean, unless Hibana, and I'm not really counting bans into this, but, if Hibana's banned, then you could bring Maverick to get a hatch. You can get him to make holes if you go in, like, if you're pushing attic in Oregon on tower. You just don't really need the Maverick trick anymore because so many operators have EMP gadgets and Thatcher's not getting banned as much. So there's no real reason to waste your time trying to Maverick a wall, and you can't even get it yourself anymore because it doesn't have nades. So you have to bring a Zofia or an Ashe, and that's a whole nother element into it. That really just isn't worth it. Ace, while we're over here, I think Ace and Thermite, I'm gonna say Ace is probably the best hard breacher right now, because you can play Ace, and I'm only putting him in 60% because you don't really need a hard breacher right now. Like, this is a very interesting time in the meta where you don't need a hard breacher every round. You're not getting walls open every single round. You're not getting hatches open every single round. They're not playing it as they used to, as defenders used to. You might not even see a bandit or arcade on the wall anymore. You might, and especially with Brava coming out, Twitch isn't banned at all ever. People are playing Twitch a little bit more, even though our gun is awful now. It's just a lot different. The meta has shifted completely. It's way more gun heavy, way more fragger focused. You're not seeing these wall takes anymore as much as he used to. But still, Ace is great for safe breaching. Say like Throne Armory on Theme Park. You're exposed to a lot of angles if you go and try and get the wall with Thermite. If you're trying to get the maintenance wall, you're exposed from bottom dragon. Obviously, you want to pick Ace here. Same for barrels. You can get C4'd from over the hatch. I mean, Ace is very easily impact tricked, but you can get C4'd from below on something like Oregon if you're going for the bedroom. That's pretty dangerous. I mean, stuff like that you want to bring Ace for. And Ace is a lot more versatile. His gun's better. He has breaches for soft destruction, vertical play. I think Ace is probably the best hard breacher. But again, realistically speaking, like, you don't really need an Ace every round. You don't need a Thermite every round. I'm really only playing them I'm honestly probably picking them 50% of the time, if you even them out. And Habana I only play on Bank or Clubhouse for those sites in particular. So this is really what I'm getting at with this tier list. It's how often can you get the most out of these operators? How often can you play them and see them succeed at their highest level? Ashe is interesting too, because with the gun heavy focused meta, you would think that her fragging capability is very useful, but Zofia is just better, and there are other operators who bring better utility. So I'm gonna put Ashe here. Like you could probably get away with running Ashe 30% of the time. You don't need to be playing her all the time, but she's not bad. You don't. It's not like she's starving for action, but it's not. You're not bringing her just to bring her. You usually have a plan. You're getting something from below, or you're clearing shields. Stuff like that. I think Ashe is fine. Castle, again, I think Castle is very good, but again, and there is a good Castle strat on every single map, but it's different from playing like Mute or Smoke. Like, you can play these operators every single time on every single place, but will they be as effective? Castle strats vary in their effectiveness greatly. If you're going to a place like Clubhouse, there's a great Castle strat on every site on Clubhouse. But if you go somewhere like, or Cafe, but if you go somewhere like, I don't know, what's a bad Castle map? Somewhere like Bank, Castle's really only good upstairs, and he's not really as good as he used to be. So the times where you're bringing, and there's always somebody usually better to bring than Castle, although he does have great soft destruction now. He's got the beepers. I love the 1.5 on the UMP. Super shoddy, obviously perfect addition to his kit. But I'm gonna probably put him here. I'm gonna leave him here. Pulse, I'm gonna put into the 15%er. Really shouldn't be picking Pulse too often. I don't really think he has much use anymore, especially with the fast-paced meta that we're getting. He's fine for intel, but you can't really play him to deny plant anymore from below because we're not seeing as many plants as we used to. The rounds are ending from people getting murked, and Pulse is not very good at that, so he's going to be bottom here. Doc, I think, is pretty good. I think Doc's pretty good right now. And also, I think I'm going to switch this to 90%. I'm going to put this to 75. I'm going to switch this to 50. Now I'll do 70. Yes, that's better. I think that's better. Yes, I think that's a little more accurate. Anyway, I think Doc's pretty good. Doc's definitely the best he's ever been right now. He is the most versatile he's ever been. He's got barbed wire, he's got the bailiff, he heals you, he overheals you with every stim. Doc is pretty decent, you know, if you need like if you need intel like Barb and you need somebody to set up site, but you don't feel like, I mean, obviously you should play somebody else like Smoke or a zombie or somebody else usually, but you know, Doc, you can get away with playing Doc now. That's pretty cool. I like Doc now, which is, you know, not saying something. If you know me, I absolutely detest Doc, but I think he's definitely the best he's ever been. Twitch, I think you can probably get away with playing Twitch every other round, probably. They always usually have, there's always stuff to get. You can always get default cams with Twitch. That's always powerful. That's always good. You can always get, you know, Valk cams. You can always shoot Thunderbird stations, you know, Kate Claws, Echo Drones, Kapkans, you know, these, and actually, you know, I'm gonna move Twitch up a little bit, actually. There are a lot of trap heavy setups these days, and Twitch is great at clearing them out. She's great at removing intel off the board with the default cams now that she can shoot her gadget, or her shock drone can shoot in infinite range. So I think Twitch is pretty, even though her gun is awful, I still think she's pretty good. It's not that bad on console. On PC, it's pretty terrible, but I think Twitch is pretty good. Montagne, I'm gonna put in the 15%er. Really, probably shouldn't really be playing Montagne too often. I'm also gonna change this from to less than 5. But yeah, no, Twitch is, or Montagne is pretty bad actually. Not mid. He's just bad. I can only really think of like 1 or 2 places where you can consistently get Montaigne's usage. He's really best for clearing places out quickly and being safe. And he's just a big drone at the end of the day, you know, like rafters, CC rafters on Clubhouse. Great to just walk into the bomb garage. Can't get shot from anywhere. He's in a corner already. Only place he has to worry about is rafters or the window or swamp. So places like that is where Montagne is good. And nowhere else really. That's not a lot of instances, so I'm gonna leave him down here. Rook, I'm also gonna put down here. I do like Rook. I've always liked Rook more than Doc, but for once, this is the only time since I've ever started playing this game that I think Doc is better than Rook. Rook's armor is good. I've seen it work, but the chances of it working are low in higher ranks because there's not a lot of times where you're going to be downed without just getting killed. So that's not great. He does have the 2 times scope, which is good, but I think the 1.5 honestly is probably the better sight now because of the closer range engagements with the more frag heavy, frag focused meta. So Fuse I'm also going to put in here. Not a lot of times that you can get away with Fuse. I think he's pretty good on certain places at removing utility. He's great at like what's a good site, like Kitchen on Coastline, great at like Workshop on Border, great at just removing utility from site, but other than that, doesn't really provide much. Glaz, I think you should probably not be playing Glaz ever. Honestly, I think there's always somebody better to pick than Glaz. He's a fine like sleeper pick if you really want to get crazy, but I really don't think he's worth picking up over a lot of other guys. Tachanka, I'm gonna put in the same spot. Just way better people on the board. Goyo's better than Tachanka. Smoke's better at Tachanka than his job. They both can make rotates the same way. They both have better utility. There's just no real reason to play Tachanka. In theory, he's good, but in practice, not really. Kapkan. Kapkan is incredibly good right now. They're about to take his 1.5 away. So I'm going to put him into the 90% still because his gadgets are just working right now with how fast-paced the game is. The extended barrel on his gun is great. He's got C4 or impacts. Kapkan brings a lot. It may not seem like he brings a lot, but he really does. You just got to play him. You just got to know. His rates are insane. You know, if we look up the win deltas right now, kind of sitting away from my keyboard. I mean, if we look at this, like, just look at this, man. Oh no, this was last season. Where's this season's notes? Let's take a look here. Year 8, Season 1. Where is it? Well, of course I can't find it, and of course Ubisoft makes it so difficult to see, but Kapkan's win rates are the highest of any operator I've ever seen. He's like above 80%. It's insane. Maybe I'll put it on the screen now when I'm editing this video. Probably not, though. It is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Kapkan is very good. You just can't deny it. Blitz, on the other hand, is very bad. I would definitely put Blitz at the bottom here. I just can't, again, like, unless you're really, really struggling, or if you're playing against bad people, I guess Blitz is good. Or if you're playing against people who are super passive, maybe. But there are better operators to do that. So, yeah, Blitz is pretty bad. IQ, I'm going to put in the same boat. Really, the only time you should ever play IQ is if the other team is playing Valkyrie and you're having extreme difficulty finding the Valcams. That's literally it. No other reason to play anybody else. Every operator can shoot stuff through the floor if you know where the spots are. Every operator can shoot cameras or Goo Mines, Legion. You know, there's no point in playing IQ. I would definitely not be playing her. Bandit. I think Bandit's definitely the worst breach denial operator right now. Bandit tricking is back a little bit, but because people don't know how to use Thatcher or the EMP gadgets, or, you know, I could go on for that forever, but Bandit's he's just not the same. He's just not the same he's used to. You could still get away with playing him, and also 30% is way too high. You only want to be playing Bandit if you're Bandit tricking a wall, and there aren't many walls to do that with in the first place. So I'm gonna leave him here. Jaeger. You could probably get away with playing Jaeger. Oh, can you play a Jaeger every round? I don't know. Again, with this heavy frag focused meta, I don't know how much utility is really being dumped into sites anymore. Can you play Jaeger every time? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm gonna put him in the 90%. You could probably get away with him most places, but I think there are definitely times where he's not needed necessarily. Trying to think of a specific example. Obviously, there are places where he's absolutely required, like pretty much every site on Oregon, pretty much every site on Clubhouse, but I don't know. Can you play Jaeger every single round? Yes. And get that utility? Yes, you can. I think you can. Man, I'm starting to lose my voice today. Maybe I shouldn't have recorded a video. My god. Buck? I'm gonna say you can probably play Buck 50% of the time. Like, there's always stuff that you can get. There's always vertical play to have, and you might be wondering what's the difference with Sledge. And Sledge has grenades. That's different. Sledge brings two completely different skill sets. You know, Sledge has more vertical potential if you're going down. If you're going above, though, that's where Buck is really the better man. But at the same time, Buck does have the hard breaches and the Gaunt 6 now. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say Buck's actually pretty good. I'm gonna put him in the 70% because I'm starting to think like there are a lot of sites where a hard gadget is good, a good substitute for a hard breacher, and you've got the Gaunt 6 to get rid of shields, Evil Eyes, even though Maestro's not really played as much, burning stuff, and you got that soft destruction, that vertical play potential. So you know what? And with the extended barrel, his shotgun is a pretty formidable weapon as well now. So yeah, I'm actually gonna put Buck at 70%. That's pretty good. Frost, same boat as Kapkan. You could play Frost a lot. She's got the shotgun, great gun with the extended barrel, really good gun with the extended barrel. And then 3 traps that people, again, with this fast-paced meta are not watching where they're going. And she has the 1.5 as well, so Frost definitely up there. Blackbeard really should not ever be playing Blackbeard. If we had a 0%, which we did have, Blackbeard would be in there. I think Blackbeard's the worst operator in the game. They should just take him out or rework him. He sucks. It's terrible. His shield blocks 1 bullet, and then that's it. He's got nothing else. There's literally no point playing him, and he has one of the worst guns in the game. Valkyrie, you could play Valk every single round. There's always room for intel. There's always room to get the upper hand on the information game. 3 extra cameras is massive. Every single round, you can absolutely get away with playing her. Capitao, my Capitao is good, but he's very situational. But when he is played, he's very good. So pretty much the opposite of this list. This isn't like a min-maxing kind of list. This isn't ops at their best. This is, in general, how much should you be playing these operators? And yeah, I mean, you could probably play Capitao 15% of the time, I think. Once in a while, break him out for something like clearing rafters in CC or big window in Oregon, stuff like that. I think Capitao excels in, but doesn't really provide too much elsewhere. He's smoking off circle desk on consulate, stuff like that. That's Capitao's job. Caveira, on the other hand, should not be played that much either. When an interrogation works, it works, but just drone, like literally just drone, just use your drone. She's useless. She doesn't provide much utility. She does have a shotgun and beepers, but other than that, her gun is awful. Her pistol is inconsistent. There's just so, I mean, unless you're playing casual, Cav is really not your operator. Echo. I like Echo, but he's just not. And also the hope of this hope of this tier list is to hopefully have like a bell curve, hopefully, but it seems to be a little low heavy, which is also fine. There's a lot of ops with variety, but Echo, I think Echo's good now. Echo. I'm gonna put him in. I don't know. I'll leave him here. The MP5 silenced is very good. The 1.5 especially. He's got the bearing 9. He's got impacts and shield. And he's got 2 drones that can deny plant, even though plant's not getting down as much. But you can also, I like to play them a little more aggressively now with the roamer. Stun people who are getting pushed or who are pushing your roamers, and then try and even out the fight that way. I think Echo's pretty good. You could probably get away with playing him a decent amount, I think. In all honesty. I think Echo's pretty good. Jackal, you could probably play Jackal 50% of the time. I think he's way overbanned. I think he's really overrated, but at the same time, he's great at what he does. He's great at clearing roamers. He's great at, getting map control through getting roamers out of area. So I think Jackal's good. Great guns. He's got rotate potential with the shotgun. Can get hatches, soft hatches. He's got smokes as well. I think Jackal's good. Mira though is way better. I think there's very few sites in the game where Mira doesn't have a good setup. That's why I'm putting her in the 90% instead of the 100%. I think no, I can't do it in the 100%. I thought about it for a little bit. Can't do it. Not worth it. Sometimes it's just better to pick somebody else if the setup just isn't viable. Mira though on 90% of every other map or every other site is great. Yeah, 2 windows. That's 2 avenues of intel. That's one way. She's got a decent gun. I like the Vector, even though it is a pea shooter, but great high rate of fire, great DPS, especially with the extended barrel. She's got C4, secondary shotgun. Mira's great. Ying is also very good right now. I don't know why people aren't playing Ying as much. She's got 4 Candelas, or 3 Candelas. She's got smokes. A great gun with the silencer, 1.5 sight. I think Ying's great for just getting in there, clearing out stuff yourself. She's a great solo queue op to just get aggressive with. especially for if you're clearing places like CC window on Clubhouse. I think she's great at pushing there. You know, throw a Candela Red, throw one into Cache, throw one into Rafters. Boom, you got it. You could just walk into site. You got site control right there. Same thing with Oregon, with the bedroom, as well as the downstairs site. She can push barrels very efficiently. Legion, I think, is probably in the same boat. Trying to think. Yeah, like, I mean, like, yeah, well, should you be playing Legion less? I don't know. I mean, Legion's good. Legion's like a very middle of the pack operator. There are people who's better, but at the same time, he does bring a lot. He brings a lot of intel. He brings impacts. He's got a good gun. So you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna say you could probably get away with playing Legion 50% of the time. Zofia, though, I'm gonna put her into 70%. She's got a decent gun. Recoil's a little wacky, but it's serviceable. It's manageable. 2 breach charge launches. She's got breaches as in the secondary utility as well for great vertical play. She's got the Grismot charges. I think she's pretty good. You won't get any complaints from me about Zofia. Ela, however, is not very good. Her gun is wacky. Her utility doesn't really do much. She does have a shield. That's pretty good. That's the only reason why she's not in the less than 5%. Really, you're only really bringing Ela for the shield, and if you're playing aggressive, swinging people off of getting her Grismots off. Dokkaebi is extremely good right now. You could play Dokkaebi all the time. Dokkaebi is incredibly good right now. I cannot stress this enough. But Mute is also good. He's a direct counter to Dokkaebi. But, you know, if you're hoping that they aren't playing Mute, Dokkaebi is incredible. You know, especially with how much Valkyrie's getting played and how important intel is to play aggressive. You know, Dokkaebi is great. EBR is the great DMR and is the greatest DMR in the game's history. She's great. Vigil, I'm gonna put in the 30%. I think Vigil's overrated and underrated at the same time. I think with a drone heavy team, he's great, especially in higher ranks. I really do think Vigil is underrated. You know, being invisible to drones and being able to invisible to Lions, which I'll get to him in a second. Lions kind of made the come up, but Vigil's gotten a lot better. His gun is good, even though they nerfed its recoil. I still think it's perfectly manageable. I think Vigil is in a great spot right now. He's got rotates. SMG-12 is all right, but I think his kit fits his play style. You know, you're roaming, you're wasting time, you're shooting drones, you're denying intel to the accurate intel to the enemies. Lion, on the other hand, is extremely good right now. You could play Lion a lot and get a lot out of him, especially with how frag focused the meta is right now. Lion is really good at the moment. I think you could probably get away with playing him like 70% of the time. I honestly mean that. This is probably the best Lion has been since his major reworking. You know, Lion is really good right now. Maybe 70 is too high. Maybe closer to 50. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know though. Maybe I should have added another tier, because I don't know. I don't think you should be playing him 70%, but I think 50 is too low. Now that I'm thinking about it. No, I'm gonna stick to my original decision. I think Lion is just that good. His gun is great. Heavy mag, you know, great for the execute with his Lion scans. He's got a Gon 6, and he's got EMP grenades, which are great for helping get in the wall. So no, yeah, Lion's 70% for sure. Lion's great right now. Very good. I play Lion right now, and I'm not usually the flex operator. Finka has fallen off greatly. She's got no nades. Her guns are terrible now. Recoil patterns are whack. She does have stuns and flashes, which are pretty good, and her ability's still decent, but she's just nowhere near as good as she used to be with the LMG nerf and her nades being taken away. Alibi, you could probably get away with playing Alibi 50% of the time. She's great for setting up sight. Actually, she did lose her 1.5, but that's why I was putting her in 50. But Alibi's still pretty good, though. Alibi's still really good. Oh yeah, Alibi's great. Alibi's really good. Oh, but I don't know. No, yeah, yep. No, I'm gonna stick with 70 again. Her gun is still amazing. I still love it. I think it was great even without the 1.5. I didn't even really use the 1.5 too much when it was out, just because I was used to the hollow on it. Gun's very easy to control. She's got the bailiff, and she's got a shield. And then she's got 3 things that you can put at windows and doorways in heavy congestible areas where gunfights are occurring, where you can get active replenishable intel. You know, it's not like a lion scan or something like that, where they're not lion scan, like a Yana clone, where if somebody shoots it, you know the general direction where they shot from and that goes away. Her alibis stay up and they continuously will give you intel. So I think for that alone makes her great. Maestro, this is probably the worst Maestro's ever been since him coming out. He's just not, the evil eyes just are not as good as they used to be. I think Maestro needs a big buff. I think they should give him the 1.5 or something like that, because Maestro is just not looking good right now. He provides the least amount of utility he ever has to the team. He's got a decent weapon, but not great. And he's just very underwhelming as an operator right now. Clash sucks. Not gonna go into that. Don't play Clash. All right, I'll tell everybody how to beat Clash right now. If you are Clash, don't play her. If you are playing against a Clash, it's this easy. You push her, you don't run away, you push her, hit her shield, and then shoot her legs. That's it. Nomad, you could probably play Nomad 90% of the time. Nomad is great. Oh, well. No, yeah, Nomad's up there. Nomad's definitely up there. Same with Cade. You can play Cade pretty much. The only map you don't really play Cade on is probably Coastline. Other than that, you know, I can't think of a single site on a single map where Cade isn't good. At least good. All right, maybe I could go a few, but I still think it averages to around 90%. I'm gonna put him at the end of it though. But Cade is great for best breach denial. If you're going for a straight breach denial, Cade's your guy. And Nomad's the best flank watch, obviously. Gridlock's good. I think Gridlock gets a lot of hate. Gridlock's great for not denying plant, for covering plant with her smokes and with the noise of her gadget. It's decent for flank watch, but it's not really, I don't think that's its best purpose. I think it's better for the post plant, for throwing your tracks down in the plant, you know, covering that sound. I think she's really good for that. But again, plants aren't happening as much. I think if we were in a more plant heavy meta, I think Gridlock would be closer to 50%, but right now I don't really think you should get away with playing her more than 30% of the time. Mozzie, on the other hand, is really good. You can probably play Mozzie 70% of the time. Great drone denial, great guns. 1.5 on the Roni is great. The Commando is great. He's got C4. Not really much more to say about him. He's great. Knock, I'd say, well, yeah, I'd say you can't really play Knock 50% of the time. Knock is more of a little slightly more niche pick, but she does have nades. She does have a 1.5 on her FMG9, so that's pretty good. Great like sleeper frag op if your team isn't great at getting rid of cameras or intel. You can break out the Knock, rush somewhere, do something like that. Maybe I should move her to 15. No, I mean, she's got nades though. You know, nades are always good no matter who you're on. So I'm gonna leave her there. I think she's better than all these ops. So Warden, like, this might be surprising. I'm gonna put, and I'll adjust this as I go. But I think Warden is pretty decent. Usually I'd put him here, but Warden, he's gotten better. You know, he's got some versatility to him. He's got a shield or a C4. He's got shotgun for rotates. He's got the SMG-12, which isn't great, but it's decent. But he also has the MPX with a 1.5, which is also great. And his ability is not bad, especially with how much I'm seeing Ying being played. I'm seeing Ying like she's more like the 90 to 70%, although I wouldn't go that far. But Warden's pretty good right now. He's definitely better than he used to be. Maru, I don't think you should really be playing him. I hope I don't need to explain that one. Goyo's really good right now. He's not quite as good as he used to be when he was released. That Goyo was nuts when he released, but He's definitely fallen off. He's still good though. I like the TCSG with the 1.5. I don't run it on Cade, but I do run it on him. I think it fits his style a little bit better. Lets him make rotates. Lets him, make holes to throw a C4 out of, and to make good angles to shoot his gadgets from. He's great on area denial, putting them on barricades that are quickly shot down. I think you could definitely get away with playing Goyo 50% of the time for sure. Callie sucks. Don't play Callie. With the EMP gadgets, there's just no point in playing Callie. Don't do it. Well, you could probably get away with playing with my 70% of the time. He's just not, like, I would put him in 90. And you know what? I might actually move Jaeger down to 90. Yeah, I'm going to move Jaeger down to the top of 90. I'm also going to move Thatcher down to 70. Wamai, I don't know if Wamai is... No, I don't think so. I think Wamai is still just lacking a little bit in... Although he does have no... Yeah, no. I'm putting him in 90. He's got impacts too. His gun is pretty good. And he's about to get the 1.5 back. And with the extended barrel, it's pretty nasty, so I'm putting him up there. Yana. You can play Yana every single round. Nades, infinite drones, great guns. Yana is amazing. Oryx right now is crazy, but he's about to lose his 1.5 times. Right now, Oryx is more like here, but I think after the 1.5 times, I think he's going to be pushed down a little bit to around here. I think he's going to be more middle of the pack. I think he's not really... He doesn't bring a lot, but he does bring a little bit. Like he can make rotates. He has prox alarms, which I think work better for his kit than the barbed wire. He's fast. He can set up sight quickly. He can go get hatches really quickly, and then he can run around the map and kill people. And in this meta, that's really effective. Melusi's sort of in a similar boat, only she is a 3 armor now, so she's not as fast as she used to. I think Melusi's gone through every single speed in the game, I think. But, and these two have always been similar, as they swapped guns and have swapped speeds and everything. But I think Melusi, her gadget, is still great, especially with the fast-paced nature of the game. It really slows down the attackers, really makes them play to your pace. I think that's really important. Zero, I wish Zero was better, but he's just not. I think he is underrated. I think his gun is great. I like that he has the Gon 6 and he's got hard breach denial, or hard breach gadget. Then he's got 4 little things that he can shoot that are basically either flank watch, or they can zap Valkyrie cameras, or they can zap ADSs, bandits, Cades off the wall, stuff like that. I think, or Goyos, for that matter. I think Zero is quite good. Aruni? You could probably play Aruni 70% of the time. I think she's pretty good. Great at denying utility as well, burning stuff, but also great at denying area a little bit in terms of, she's sort of like Capkin in that way. If, they gotta burn it or they gotta run through it, take the damage, then that's instant intel and you know that they're weak. And then, they recharge, unlike Capkin's things. She, hers can recharge once they walk through or burn it. And her guns are great. EBR on defense is killer, although I run the Roni personally. But, headshot machine, it does have the 1.0, but I don't think she needs a buff to get the 1.5 or anything. Flores is pretty good. You could probably run Flores 50% of the time. There's usually, Melusi's to get rid of, Aruni gates to burn, mats to destroy, ADSs to destroy. Not really getting rid of mute jammers too much. Goyos are great to get rid of with Flores. Castle barricades. I think Flores is pretty good right now, or getting rid of shields. There are a lot of ops with shields here. You're seeing Frost and Smoke a lot, so there's a lot of shields in play. Same with Alibi. So I think Flores definitely has his place right now. Thunderbird, I think, is definitely fallen off. She was definitely, I would say, used to be up here, but I think she's definitely fallen off. 50%, I think, might be too much. I don't think Thunderbird is that good right now. So I'm going to stick with my gut and go around to probably closer to 30. She does have impacts, but again, Doc honestly might be better. Well, now, I mean, they're on the same level, I think. You get infinite gadgets with Thunderbird, theoretically speaking, but they don't heal you as much as Doc does. Thunderbird's got a way better gun, a way better weapon. She has impacts, but Doc has rotates with the Bailiff and Barbed Wire. Thunderbird only has the impacts. So I think they probably even each other out. I'm going to leave them in the same tier. And in fact, I'm going to put them... I honestly think they're probably at the same level right now. Osa is pretty good. I think you probably get away with playing Osa every other round. She's got the EMP gadget. She's got a great gun with the PDW. I think it's great with the 1.5. I think it's great for her playstyle as well. It's a fast-firing weapon that you can play off the shields quite well with. And then she's got 3 shields that can be, placed up and hide behind or plant behind in the plant or post-plant. Great at, getting intel safely, attaching the doors or windows to quickly destroy them and then gain intel. I think Osa's pretty good. Thorn, however, is not very good. I'm going to put Thorn down here at the top, but Thorn is just really bad. I think Thorn is awful. Her gadget is terrible. Does nothing if you die to a Thorn gadget. I don't know what you're doing. She does have a shield, and her gun is good, but that's really it. You're not playing her for any other reason. So she sucks. Azami, you can play on every single site and every single map. Excellent operator. She is amazing. She is so good. Azami's just fantastic. Great way at reworking the site and really changing lines of sight, like changing angles, finding really creative ways to defend areas that you used to not be able to because it wasn't safe or it wasn't viable. Azami can make those things different, and that's really where her power is. Sens and Grim are the 2 worst operators in the game. You should not really ever be playing them. They're both awful. They have no place in the game. They both need a rework. They both are terrible. They are the 2 worst ops in the game. Solus, however, I'm glad to say, is not. She is very good. I'm going to say that she's either 90 or 70. I'm going to say probably closer to 90% here. And I see that this is much more balanced than I thought it would be. It's a little bottom heavy even, but I'm going to rework this a little bit in a second. But Azami is great. Great at getting rid of drones. You can see you can deny plant from below. I'm thinking about maybe putting her in the... No, yeah, I think 90% is fine. You don't need... I'm not going to overrate her a little too much. We've had a season with her. She's great. We all know it, but she is lacking in a few areas. The gun in particular, I really don't like the P90. I've never liked it. I do love the SMG-11, of course, and she has impacts. But other than that, her kit leaves a little bit to be desired. It's really her gadget that you're playing her for. Watching for drones, watching for the plant. That's where she shines the most. So let's fix this up a little bit. I'm going to go by attacker and then defender. I think Yan is the best attacker. I think Sledge is the second best. I think Azami is the best defender in the game. I think Mute is better than Smoke. I think Solus is up here. I think Jaeger's right here with Umai. Kapkan is here. Frost, Mira. Mira's probably better than Frost. Dokkaebi, Jaeger. Oh, whoops. Forgot what I'm doing. Attacker, then defender. Yep, I think that's right. Ace is probably a little bit higher there. I think Thatcher's probably towards the end here. Oh, I think Aruni's here. Yeah, Alba-Masi. I think Ying, Jackal Thermite, Flores, Osa. They're about the same. Put Goyo at the top, Legion at the bottom. Yep, that looks right. Bon at the top. Zero Sword at the bottom here. Dokkaebi, or not Dokkaebi, Gridlock. I'm gonna say bottom of 30%. Maverick, Fuse, Capital is better than both of them. Montaigne is worse than both of them. Finka, worse than both. No, Finka's better than Montaigne. And Fuse. Warden. No, Rook. No, Maestro. No. Hello, last. Warden. Yep. No, Warden. I think Warden's better than Pulse right now. I'll say it. No, I'm insane. I'm an insane person. Callie has... Nope, definitely IQ. At least she has a good gun. God, he's gonna be... Oh, jeez, terrible. I think Thorn's better than Tachanka. Okay, so as you can see, a few things to note. You know, there are a lot better defenders than there are better attackers. A lot of the attackers are not very good, so that sucks. But that pretty much does it. I think that should do it, right? I think that's it. I think we got it. I think that's it. I'm gonna download this picture so I can see it in here. Okay, or it won't download. That's fine. I guess it's whatever. All right, this is it. This is our list. This is what we're looking with here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you liked it. Leave a comment if you want to comment your ideas, what you think about it. It's not the perfect list, I don't think. I think there's probably a few things that can be worked around or negotiated, but in general, for ranked, if you're trying to win games, this is generally, I would say, the percentage of times that you should be playing these operators. I think this is especially important for new players. You know, if you're looking for people to buy or people to play often or to learn, I think this list definitely fits that criteria. So yeah,